The first exercise is clams. This exercise will target the muscles around the hip. Start by lying on your side with your top hand on your hip and your legs and feet stacked on top of each other. Then, keeping your heels close together, rotate your top hip to create some space between your knees. Lower your leg down with control. The next exercise is a down dog to pigeon. This exercise is an upper body exercise that also provides a stretch to the outside of the hip. Start in a press-up position with your hands directly under your shoulders. Then, shifting your weight backwards, push your hips towards the sky into a down dog position. Finally, bring your leg forward so that your shin is up near your hands. You should feel a stretch in the outside of your hip. The next exercise is a compass touch drill. This is a balance and control exercise. Imagine you are standing within the center of a compass, with your knee high and your toes curled up to the ceiling. Slowly and with control, touch your toes to each point on the compass: north, east, south, and west. Make sure you come back to a high knee, high toe position between every point. The next exercise is a side lunge. This is a lower body exercise. Start in a tall standing position. Then take a big brave step sideways into a side lunge position. When in the side lunge, both feet should remain flat on the floor. The leg that hasn't moved off the floor should also remain straight. You should then push yourself back into a tall standing position. The next exercise is a plank. This is an exercise for the core muscles. Start by positioning your elbows directly underneath your shoulders and then enter a plank position. Imagine you have a belt buckle on and you're trying to tip your hips so the belt buckle is facing towards your face. Your feet should be hip width apart. Hold this position. The next exercise is bent leg lowers. This is an exercise for the core muscles. Start with your back flat on the floor. To do this, imagine you have a belt buckle on and you're tipping your hips so the belt buckle is facing towards your face. Have your knees and hips bent up at 90 degrees. Then straighten your legs and lower your feet down alternately so that your heel touches the floor. This exercise can be done with hands on hips or, to make it more challenging, in a streamlined position. The next exercise is Abductor fallouts. This is another core exercise, but it requires a lot of control. Start with your back flat on the floor, and to do this, imagine you have a belt buckle on and you're tipping your hips so your belt buckle faces your face. Have your legs raised in the air with your knees and hips bent at 90 degrees. When you're ready, drop your knee towards the floor. Do this with control and only take your knee out as far as you can without losing position. Then pull your knee back in using the muscles on the inside of your leg. This exercise can be done with hands on hips or, to make it more challenging, in a streamlined position. The next exercise is straight leg lowers. This is an exercise for the core. Start with your legs out straight. Then lower one heel down towards the floor, keeping your other leg nice and still. Lower your leg down with control. Imagine there is a tray of eggs on the floor and you don't want to break any of the eggs. The whole time you should be keeping your back nice and flat on the floor. This exercise can be done with your hands tucked underneath your bum, or, to make it more challenging, with your hands flat on the floor. The next exercise is a side plank. This is a core exercise that targets the muscles on the side of the core. Start in a nice strong side plank position. This means your elbow will be directly underneath your shoulder and your feet are split apart with your top leg in front of your bottom leg. Then bridge up so that your hips are nice and high. Imagine there is a magnet pulling your hips up towards the ceiling. Try and relax your upper body. The next exercise is pelvic tilt with knee lifts. This exercise is about control. Start with a big arch in your back and lots of space between your back and the floor. Then flatten out your back by squeezing your bum muscles and tipping your hips. Imagine you have a belt buckle on and you're tipping your hips so your belt buckle faces towards your face. Holding this position, slowly lift one leg off the floor and bring your knee up towards your face. With control, lower that leg down and swap over. This exercise can be done by lifting one leg, putting it down and then lifting the other leg, or by lifting one leg and then lifting up the second leg so that 2 feet are off the floor.